Hello Kickstarter, I'm Kate.
And I'm Michael. Today we're going to tell you about our Project 3 for Physics 357 turned into a totally real and not fake Kickstarter.
Let's cut to the chase. For our project, we created an alcohol level and reaction time measuring device.
Yeah, so in college you hear all these fun facts about how bad alcohol is for you, but we wanted to test this for ourselves. And now you can too, by supporting this Kickstarter.
It's really quite simple. At the core of our project, we have an Arduino Uno. Connected to it are 5 LEDs, 1 button, and 1 alcohol sensor. The LEDs and button are all wired into the digital ports, whereas the sensor is analog. Each LED has a resistor connecting it to the Arduino so that nothing gets shorted out from the plus 5 volts. The button works as a switch. It's constantly connected to plus 5 volts, and when depressed, connects the plus 5 volts to the digital pin, which reads a high and sends a signal. Otherwise, the plus 5 volts is sent through a resistor to ground. Also included in the diagram is an SD card where all the data is saved.
Now, this is great and all, but what really makes this project amazing is the code running inside. With our patented code, this device feels more like a game than a scientific device. You push the button, the lights flash, and you start blowing.
Once the blow light turns off, the user proceeds to the reaction time test by pressing the button when one of our LEDs turns on.
But Kate, can't the previously mentioned test subject just memorize the time he needs to wait before pushing the button? That gives him an unfair advantage.
Well, we thought of that too. Each LED waits a random amount of time between 2 and 5 seconds before turning on. This ensures that we are measuring the actual reaction time and not simply how good someone can remember when to press a button.
Before testing it in the real world, we needed to make sure that the device worked in a controlled environment. There were 3 main things we had to test. The first was to ensure that the actual alcohol sensor worked as expected. Essentially, the alcohol sensor has a bunch of power running to it. Some of it goes to powering a coil, and the rest of it goes to actually powering the device that sends in the data. So to test it, we just brought the sensor close to a variety of solutions of ethanol and basically plotted up the data. And as you can see from this graph, we came to the conclusion that the sensor works wonderfully.
The second test was to make sure we are actually measuring the right time from the moment the light turns on to when the button is pushed. We ran a test not to look for reaction time, but to see if waiting a known amount of time and pushing the button would give us that time back. We did this twice with 10 seconds and once with 5 seconds. What we found was, accounting for human errors, the timing is spot on.
The third test was the most rigorous. We had a volunteer lab rat take a shot of alcohol and blow into the sensor every minute for 15 plus minutes. This was just to see how long the vapor actually lasted in the mouth and throat. As seen in this graph, right after the shot was taken, the sensor nearly maxed out, but it seems to settle down after 8 or so minutes. The decay time can be shortened with a water rinse prior to blowing.
Currently, the values are saved to an SD card for analysis' sake, but with more funding, that could change. Speaking of funding, we have lots of fun perks for those who donate. For $2, you'll get a thank you email from us. At $10, you'll get a thank you video just for you.
At the $20 level, you'll not only get the video, but we'll tell you a really bad pun. Who doesn't like a bad joke every once in a while? By the way, Kate, I had to fire the floor finishers.
Why?
They couldn't hold their lacquer. For just $50, we'll give you the parts list, the code, and a schematic. That's a weekend project right there.
Now we are getting into the big spenders. For $100, we will build you a kit and send it to you. That means no work for you. For $250, we will also send you a finished product, but we will add in a few surprises. For those millionaires who just have too much money, we have a $10,000 level as well. If you donate a whole 10 grand, we will fly out and test the sensor with you in person.
On top of that, we'll even buy the drinks for the night. We have a baseline goal of $50,000. That'll be just enough to start making and selling these sensors.
If you guys are amazing enough to push those limits, we have a few additional goals. If we reach $100,000, we will replace the SD card with an LCD screen for easy reading and instant data. We will add more LEDs and upgrade its housing. Bigger is always better.
Now, if we manage to somehow hit $200,000, we'll make it even more fun. We'll do all those things at the 100K level, but we'll also make it a 2-player head-to-head battle. Fight for victory with your friends and see who can handle their liquor the best. But of course, still remember to drink responsibly and know your limits.
Who said science doesn't have to be fun? We would really appreciate your support to help us achieve our goal.
It would mean the world to us. Thanks for watching.
Bye!